Hey guys, it's me, Coach Lexi, and I'm going to share a little something with you that you may be a little shocked to know. I have an obsession and a love, and I'm a huge fan of women's MMA fighting. I know that I do not come off like the kind of girl that loves that, but I love it. It is fantastic. I love watching it, and I just find it to be so empowering and just, I love it. And right now, one of my favorite women, probably a favorite woman of a lot of people now, is Rowdy Ronda. She is the women's bantamweight champion, and she is undefeated. She's strong, she's confident, and she's fearless, and I love her. And I'm reading her book called My Fight, Your Fight. This is the cover. This is the back. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And it is fantastic. It is basically a chance for us to kind of see her journey and how she got to where she is right now. And I really love the book mainly because of the way that it's written. She's written it not just as like one straight story of a biography of her life, but a series of lessons that she's learned along the way, which I love because that's how I tend to think of life too. I think of life as a series of lessons and plenty of opportunities to learn. And one of the lessons that she talks about in her book is turning your limitations into opportunities. And so today I wanted to kind of share some of her thoughts, but then share my response to those thoughts because I thought is a really great lesson for us to have. She says that her career has been filled with tons of injuries, but her career has not been derailed by them. She has used every physical setback to develop in another area that she wouldn't have otherwise addressed. And in particular, she talks about this one time where she injured, I believe, her left foot. She broke it. And why this was so significant was because a lot of the moves that she was doing in judo at the time required her to kind of use her left side of her body. But if her left foot was broken, then she couldn't use it. She'd have to use the part of her right side, which is not as strong, and she wasn't as talented in. But instead of wallowing, which she did do for a little bit, but instead of staying in that place of wallowing, saying, well, now I guess I have to give up and I guess I can't move on, she took it as an opportunity to just develop the right side of her body. Which now, as we know, it's like, okay, that was fantastic because now she's able to do all these great things from either side of whatever she's doing. She's not really like left-handed, right-handed kind of fighter because she has had to learn how to use both sides of her. There are many times in our lives where we face setbacks, things where something that we were really strong in, all of a sudden, we're not able to use that strength anymore. And so it ignites insecurities in us. And now we have to rely on maybe the weaker side of us or utilizing the skills that we feel like we're not as good at. We needed to grow. But when you take that opportunity to say, well, I'm going to grow in that area, I'm going to push past the insecurity, I'm going to push past the doubt that I'm feeling, and instead I'm going to use this as an opportunity to grow, you will find that you will not only become more confident in yourself, but you'll become better at being able to face challenges because nothing really throws you off your game. And that's the attitude, the mentality that we need to have in everything we do, in our relationships, in our friendships, in our career, in our self-confidence, it's all of that. We need to have this attitude that no matter what comes at us, it is possible for me to just succeed. It may take a little while, you know what I mean? But I can't give up. Don't focus on what you can't do. Focus on what you can. I love that statement because it's so true. When I'm exercising, I exercise every morning, and there always comes this time when I'm sprinting where I get really exhausted, and I'm like, okay, I gotta stop. But I look down at my timer because I try to run for like 30 seconds or 25 seconds at a time and then rest a little bit. I do HIIT training. But when I get really tired, I look at my stopwatch and then I notice that it's usually at a little less than the halfway mark, where I only have 10 seconds left. So it's like, just push through. But every time that always happened where I would keep going, I'd have all this strength, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to stop. And then I look and I only have 10 seconds left. So instead of focusing on that moment when I get tired, and looking down at the clock and then being like, oh, I only have 10 seconds left. I started to say to myself, when I hit that point where I think I'm about to break, instead of focusing on, oh my goodness, how much time do I have left? Focus on saying, Lexi, you can do this. You don't have much time left. You can do it. When I started to do that, my mentality shifted. And all of a sudden, I was able to push past. And I found that I wasn't getting tired until I had like 2 seconds left or 1 second left or not at all. And so it worked out perfectly, because what it was going on was not that my inability to become strong had changed. That it wasn't that. It was my mentality. It was the fact that I started to think to myself, Lexi, you can do this. You don't have much time left. Just push through. And I found that now I'm able to do that in other areas of my life. When I'm starting to get really like weary and just tired of having faith in stuff or having the strength to just, keep being positive, I start just telling myself, Lexi, you don't have much time. Just push through. And I find that it gives me the courage that I need to keep going, to keep working hard and to keep at it and building that muscle and practicing building that muscle of having to be positive when you don't feel very positive has now become something that I'm not going to say is one of my strongest strengths or anything, but it has become something that I can put into that strengths basket. Whereas in the past, I might have had a really hard time staying positive when I wanted to be negative, or staying positive and hopeful when I wanted to quit. So I want to encourage you guys to take that opportunity to take your limitations when something falls short, when you make a mistake, when something doesn't work out. Instead of looking at it as the end of the world, I promise, if you just change your mindset and stop focusing on what you can't do, stop focusing on what is not working for you, and start focusing instead on what is working for you and what you can do, you will find that your world and your perspective will change. I want to hear from you, though, in the comments. What are your thoughts on this? Do you have a hard time staying positive about your strengths and about your skills? Let me know down in the comments. What have you used in the past to try to focus on your strengths? And what have you used in the past when you basically face a setback? How do you get out of that moment of just staying in that place? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And I will see you guys in the very next video. Bye. Thanks for watching.